Hey, what's up, hello book besties, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. First off, I'm really excited to film this type of video because I have been trying to get out of a reading slump, and due to the fact that I was in a slump, I am hella behind my reading goal. So at the beginning of the year, I was very ambitious because I was like knocking books out like that, and I set my reading goal to be 150 for this year. But I am currently only at 25 books and we only have about 5-ish months left of the year, so I need to read 125 books in 5 months, aka 25 books a month. Will I hit it? Maybe. Who knows? But the least we can do is try to catch up on some reading for now. I am hoping to get to maybe 3 books this video. Realistically, probably 2, and this is gonna take a couple of days, but it is Friday, the weekend's coming up, so I'm hoping I'll have time to just sit back, relax, and read. Anyways, if you guys watched my last booktube video, you saw that I have my August TBR made. I currently finished the Problematic Summer Romance the other day and I absolutely loved it. It was such a good book, and now I'm currently reading the Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Lori Gilmore, so I think that's what we're gonna try and get to today. I also tried to have like a nice little cozy setup, so I brought Donkey, which is my Squishmallow, out onto the floor because I just added a little carpeted rug so I can just like lean back and read. My fiance said he is gonna get me a little reading chair, so I am excited. I just have no idea where I'm gonna put it. The one thing I love about the Lori Gilmore books is there's always a playlist in the beginning of the book. That way you can go ahead and listen to the songs that the author thought matched the book while you're reading, which I think is really nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and listen to the playlist while I read. A little update time. First off, I changed because I got my Active by Teal bodysuit in the mail today. Active by Teal is a local brand in Hawaii for athleisure wear, and I've been wanting one of her bodysuits for so long, and it finally came in and I love the print. This is from the Lex Breezy collab, and let me just give you guys a show of like what it looks like, but I'm absolutely in love with it. It's so buttery soft, has a little pocket on the side, and is amazing to wear. Anyways, it is time to give a little update time. So I believe I made it to chapter 15. Yes, I made it to chapter 15. I'm a little under a third of the way, and my thoughts so far are that it's really cute, definitely a fun cozy read, and it kind of gives the same vibes that Wild Love gave to me. And I think that this book does a really good job of showing kind of what the male main character Archer is going through. You know, he has this bomb drop that he finds out he has a daughter that he never knew about, and he's getting to know her, trying to get into the world of learning what parenthood is about, because all his life he's only been a chef. He's been working towards a Michelin star. He's used to like being in the kitchen, being good at what he does, and working his way up to the top. And then now, don't want to say like his life got turned upside down, but it's definitely taking a different track because now he has a 5-year-old daughter he has to think about. And then going into the point of view of Iris, who's our female main character at the moment, it's fun to see how her brain works as someone who is constantly worrying about, oh, what job am I going to do next? What am I going to do to make ends meet? And I think that with the way that the book is written, it does a good job of giving us just enough like inner monologue and the inside thoughts of our main characters, as well as background snippets here and there, detailed dialogue. I feel like it's well perfectly balanced, which is why this is turning out to be such a fun and fast read. I also love that we get to see characters from the previous books pop in and out throughout the story, because it's nice thinking back to their stories and what I read about them, and then now seeing them appear in their story. It's like, oh, it's nice to see how it all comes together. It does feel like you are part of the Dream Harbor town when you're reading this, especially if you read the other 3 books before this, because you know so much about the characters, you know so much about the history, so much about the town. You feel like you're part of this big community. And another thing that I'm looking forward into this book is definitely going to be the spice scenes, because the Dream Harbor books are a spicy small town romance, and right now, as you guys know, the male main character is Iris's boss, Archer's her boss, and she's his nanny for his daughter. So you know, like there's obviously like that, oh, like be careful, there's gonna be that power dynamic, like he's your boss, he's gonna try and take advantage of you, you can't let him do that, you can't have a relationship with your boss, like that's frowned upon. But come on, obviously male main character, female main character, they're going to get together at some point. And I think that right now with all like the tension, because you do get like their inner thoughts of like, oh, I can't do that, he's my boss, or what am I doing, she's the nanny, and I feel like that tension is just going to build and build and build, and then finally once it snaps and we get to the spice scene, I think it's gonna be really, really good, and I can't wait to read about it.
A few moments later.
Hi guys, so it is the next day. I did only read up until my fiance got home, and then we binged season 6 of Love Island. I did sleep in a lot. It's honestly about 12 o'clock right now, so kind of slept through the first half of the day ish. We are still in about the same spot, like a little under halfway, which I think is still really good. So I think we're gonna go ahead and read for a little bit. And I know today I do gotta do a bunch of like grocery shopping and a bunch of chores, so we'll see how much I read, but I'm hoping to maybe finish this today and then start another book. Welcome to the new setup. My fiance got me this, like, it's like one of those things that you put on a bed, but I figured I'd just put it on the ground since I have the carpet and I could have like a nice backrest while I read. So shout out to him for getting it. Oh my god, guys. The tension that finally just snapped, and we got a little taste of that scene. Oh god. Guys, page 252. Okay, so the ending got me a little bit. It was so cute. I feel like that exact ending happened in the other book as well. I'm not gonna say the book because I don't want to spoil it for you guys. So I'm a little like, it's literally like the same thing. But you know, I'm the type of girl where I can read the same thing over and over and I'll still like it. Honestly, everything, and I gotta stop reading these types of books because every time I read them, I get immense baby fever, and I'm too broke for a child right now. Just watching Archer, who is our male character, build a relationship with his daughter Olive, and not only that, but Iris and Olive building a relationship, and watching Olive slowly grow to love Iris and want her to be her new mom despite losing her other mom is so heartwarming and so cute. I also think that the way that Laurie Gilmore writes is she writes in a way that like captivates you and makes you feel like you're in the story, you're immersed in the world, and I think that's really nice because I think that when you're reading a book and you feel like you're a part of this world, you're friends with the characters, you're living out the story with them, it makes the reading experience a lot more enjoyable. But we have officially finished our first book of this video, so we can go ahead and put her back on the shelf. I'm gonna put her next to the rest of the Dream Harbor. And it's time to pick from our lovely TBR cart what I'm gonna read next. So I think I kind of want to switch it up a bit, and I think we're gonna read Lights Out by Nevessa Allen next. Like, yes, it is romance, but this is also a dark romance, and I feel like it'll be a nice switch to things. Okay, so quick debrief time. I'm only 20 pages in, but honestly, the pages have a lot of words on them, so it's kind of a lot. So far, I got to read a chapter from the female main character's point of view, which is Allie, and she's actually a trauma nurse at a trauma hospital, and I find that really cool to read about because I want to go into healthcare after my gap year. I do plan on going back to get my RN license to be a nurse. So I think it's cool to read about a main character that's also a nurse. And then I also got to get a little glimpse of the male main character, which is Josh. And I guess to give like a little debrief about the story, so like Allie, like this one's a dark romance, and she has a thing for guys with like masks on, and it just so happens that Allie loves his account, likes his videos, and he happens to be the roommate of her ex, like booty call, I guess. Josh finds out because he knows who Allie is because Allie has been over, and he finds out that Allie is into that kind of stuff and she wants someone to do something to her with the mask on. And I don't know like how to feel so far. Like, I'm definitely liking it because I do like a little cat and mouse chase, and I did enjoy Haunting Adeline a lot, and this feels a lot like it, just a little different. And I don't know, I'm honestly might switch to my Kindle to read this because I feel like just looking at how big these pages are and how much words are on them, I kind of want to like minimize it. I did download it on my Kindle actually, just so I was prepared. And then I know we're gonna head to the beach later for a little date, so I'll probably bring my Kindle and read more there, and then I can give you guys kind of like an update on where I'm feeling with this book. Okay, so update, I'm almost done with chapter 11, and if you know, you know. So, little update time, we got home from the beach, and then we just started watching Love Island. Like, I didn't read until late at night when Andrew was already sleeping. I just read on my Kindle in bed, and I got to maybe like chapter 6, I want to say. I'm listening to the audiobook because I woke up this morning at 6:30 because that's when he left for work, and I didn't want to go to bed. I was like, oh, so I just listened to the audiobook. Like, I was just like laying down in bed, not asleep, just like eyes closed, resting, and I listened to chapter 6 to 10. Like, I definitely need to read more dark romance books. Like, I don't know what this is about me as a person. I really don't be reading everything. Like, I'm scared, I'm excited, I'm like, what's gonna happen, or oh my god, the suspense. Like, it's very thrilling. But if I found myself in this situation in real life, I probably would have called the cops. Like, I'd be very terrified. But I think like fictional Mika, like book Mika is like, oh, imagine this was happening to me. But in real life, absolutely not. No. But right now a lot's happening, so I guess like a little debrief. Like, they finally met. Like, I don't want to give too much away and I don't want to spoil it. They're like meeting and they're like communicating via like burner phones, and it's really like fun to watch the banter and watch her get frustrated. It is definitely giving like that cat and mouse chase that Haunting Adeline gave. And another reason I switched to the audiobook is because I posted on my story on Instagram that I finally started reading Lights Out, and I posted a picture at the beach with this, and everyone's like, girl, stop, ma'am, you gotta read the audiobook. Like, the audiobook does psychological things to read the audiobook instead. Like, Josh's voice actor, his dark, deep voice. Hello guys, I am finally home so we can finally talk about Lights Out. This book was so good, I genuinely just ate it up. Like, Josh, my heart was beating reading this book. The last like quarter of the book, I was constantly like on edge, like tense, anxious, like, oh my god, what's gonna happen to them, what's gonna happen to them, like, I feel like something bad's gonna happen. Like, every time I went to the next page I was always like, is something gonna happen? This book genuinely keeps you on your toes in such a good way. I love the relationship building. I loved like getting to see more of Allie's family, as well as like learning about like Josh and his backstory and like his protectiveness especially. I can't imagine being in his shoes and growing up the way that he did. Like, he honestly could have came out a lot worse, but he came out semi-normal, and I was honestly scared about like halfway into the book. I thought there was going to be a third act breakup, but luckily there wasn't. I'm honestly not the biggest fan of those because it's like, okay, you guys broke up, you guys are going to get back together by the end of the book. The direction it went in versus that was a lot better. Like, it was nice to see more of Tyler because he was more of a side character. Like, getting to see his input in the way that he really stood up and like, you know, talked logical sense into Allie during like a stressful part on the relationship. Like, I really like that. Like, I was honestly like, wow, you're not as big of a douche as I thought you were. Honestly, I think it was more of a fun read than like having like, for lack of better words, like depth. There was obviously a plot, and I really liked the plot that went on in this book, but I feel like it was more of just like a fun, like, I want to say cutesy read, because obviously it's a dark romance book, but you get what I'm saying. Like, it was a fun read. Like, it was nice to see like the smut, the spicy scenes in this book. Especially I feel like there was a good balance between the spice and the plot in this book. Like, it wasn't a book that was just every single page you read was just smut, 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 you know. Overall, I genuinely really like this book. I gave it a 4 stars, and I would like to say, because I just glanced at the cover, I get the couple who slays together stays together, like the direct quote in the book. When I got to it, I was like, oh, okay. I'm honestly really happy that I decided to read this book and pick it up, because it ended up being such a good, like, thriller, and honestly just a good way to get back into dark romance, since I had only read Haunting Adeline, and I feel like dark romance is definitely a genre I want to explore more. But as you guys saw at the cafe that I was at this morning, after I finished this book, I actually brought with me Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. So I know this isn't one of the books that I had on my for sure read, but I just feel like I needed a break from strictly romance. I feel like I was just craving like a fantasy, like a book I could get lost into the world and like just a nice fantasy read. And I remember Once Upon a Broken Heart was on my list, so I decided to go with that. This series is heavily talked about and everyone loves it, and you know, like I said, because of Jax. I know I explained that more in my TBR, but when I read the Carnival series, I wasn't the biggest fan of Jax. Like, I hated him. However, he is the main male character in the series, so I was like, okay, maybe the series can change my mind. I didn't get too far into the book. I did get to chapter 8, but honestly, that was about like 60 pages, a good chunk. And so far, I'm really liking it. I love that it's the familiar world that the Carnival series took place in, and that, you know, obviously it's regarding the Fates, which are, you know, like these, I don't want to say like gods, but they're like, for lack of a better word, gods in this type of world. And I like that they're also in this book, which I expected, because Jax, the Prince of Hearts, is in this book. And it felt nice to be reading a fantasy again. Getting to listen to my romantasy playlist while reading this was honestly such a vibe. But I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. I honestly had a lot of fun filming this video, but I feel like I dragged it out so long because I didn't have much time to dedicate to reading and I didn't want to get too burnt out. But overall, I just want to thank all of you guys if you made it to the end of this video. I know it was pretty long, I know I yapped a lot, and you got to just see like clips of me reading, but I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. I'm glad I was able to catch up on reading, and even though I finished only 2 books in this video, like, I still feel like that's a great start to getting back out of a reading slump. And if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel and drop a like or a comment. Honestly, everything supports me in any way you can, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!